What is going on, everybody? It's Dan the Mushroom Man. It has been a long ass time coming, but I am here. I'm in my lab jacket already. I'm ready to do some work. But man, it's been a long time since I've been live in my lab. I've been enjoying my time off. And let me know if you hear an echo because I hear one off of my second camera. We have two cameras tonight. Let me make sure that one works. There we go. How's everybody doing today? You guys are doing well? I don't know why that's making noise. Let me see if I can handle that. But please tag some people in. We're going to give away some lion's mane. We're going to talk about mushrooms as always. Let me tag a few more people in here and get some music rolling. You know, I like a little music. Please tag some friends in. I'll get this going here, this giveaway. Oh, we got to spell it right. We're going to give away a whole month supply of lion's mane, as I normally do on my lives. And let's bring that up here. Here we go. We got the hashtag. Please put it in the hashtag. What's going on, Joseph? Please tag some more people in. I've tagged about 30 people. But I'm only going to be live for an hour today. So we're just going to do some, get some mushroom species ready for the spring market, which is really why I'm in here right now. There's not really a market to sell my mushrooms to, so I kind of take the time off in the winter. But come May, we will be back at it, and we will be back at the farmers markets every Saturday. So we are preparing for that. But what's going on, Joseph? I'm going to tag some more people in here. Please share it to your group too. Hit that like button. That always helps in the algorithm. And I always get people who message me after these lives, and they find it very intriguing. So I'd love to find more people who find mushroom production, mushroom education, herbal medicine, and get them in here and show them what this is all about, because there's a lot of people who don't know, how to grow mushrooms. But I got my coffee here too. We got some new species today, and we're also doing some gourmet mushrooms and some psychedelic mushrooms. So we're kind of getting both going. And as a lot of you know, I do experiment growing psychedelic mushrooms. So I have a few new species that I got from the guy when I bought this flow hood. So this device in front of you that you see right here is called a flow hood. And it actually, what it does is provide clean, sterile air right here. So when I turn it on, everything in front of that comes out of this filter is all sterile, clean air. So this is the whole device here. There's an intake. And then the air comes out here. So a lot of you are familiar with that. It's called a flow hood. Anytime you go to a hospital and say give your blood, or they're checking for bacteria, viruses, they kind of use the same device. When they put that sample on to get it to grow bacteria, they kind of do it in front of here. So very similar. What's going on, Taipon? How you doing? Let you see we got some Petri dishes here, and I'm gonna put some gloves on before I start touching things, because it's all about cleanliness in here. Now, this flow hood's gonna push all that clean air on me, but I have to be clean as well. So the dirtiest thing in this room right now is me. Even though I took a shower 2 hours ago, we are still loaded with bacteria. So first thing about growing mushrooms is cleanliness. The second thing about mushrooms is cleanliness. And the third thing about mushrooms is cleanliness. So it's very important that you keep clean. So the gloves, of course. We got our lab coat on. We have about 4 of these. That way we can wash them after each use. So this is just the room that I use, that I kind of start the mushrooms in. I have a whole production room, as people know, but as we do more lives, I'll share that. We are doing a ton of updates to the grow facility, production room, and just minor stuff here and there all winter, and it's really accumulated to a lot of difference in how we grow our mushrooms. So I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be the biggest year yet at Great for Mushrooms. Last year was really good, but I didn't get to the farmers market as much as I wanted to because of my job. But we're going to fix that this year, and we're going to be at all. What's going on, Shane Mundy? How you doing? Let me get that hashtag up so you guys know what we're giving away. Oh, I didn't even put it in here. You share that screen. There you go. But we're giving away a whole month supply of lion's mane. We got some right here. Ship this out to you probably today. And this is 2 capsules a day. If you struggle with ADHD, brain fog, those are the 2 things that this stuff really helps. And I know that helps with ADHD a lot because I have ADHD. So anybody out there who has ADHD, this is your stuff. $13 a month, 2 capsules a day can literally change your life with ADHD. So I find myself in that ADHD rhythm a lot. I take 2 of these and it knocks me off of that track you usually go on when you have ADHD, and kind of throws you off and gets you focused on what you need to focus on. But I'm probably tagging a few more people here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I only shared it out to 2 groups, so if you could, please share it out to another group. I almost forgot how to do all this because I've been live once. I went live on Thanksgiving, and then I got a 30-day suspension for my Facebook, so I couldn't go live for a while. And they said that I was selling drugs on Facebook, and that's why they did that. Tag some more people in here. Please tag the normal people as well. Let's see some more people in here. Oh, did I get it? Nope. All right, thank a few more people. Got 7 people in the house. Thank you guys for joining me. Please hit that reaction button. Help me get out there. And we're going to start doing some work here. We have this camera over here facing. Let me bring myself up a little bit. We'll go with that. The lion's mane is there. Giveaway hashtag lion's mane. Got 4 entries in there. Please just enter that when you'd like. But we have this camera over here facing our flow hood. We're now going to turn the flow hood on. And this device actually has about 10, I think about 7 speed settings, and I usually go on about 3. That might be too loud. We're going to 2 out of 7. Actually, it's 2 out of 8. And we're going to start with our Petri dishes, since these are kind of in the way. So I made these the other day. These are Petri dishes. This is actually what you use to grow any kind of fungus, bacteria, viruses. So laboratories and hospitals kind of use similar stuff, but I imagine their ingredients are different. This is actually made up of potatoes, potato flakes. I got the ingredients here. So. But these are the ingredients it takes the first step to grow mushrooms. We got our potato flakes, we got our corn syrup, and then we have our agar, which you can buy on Amazon. It's like a Chinese gelatin, and you can see it actually says agar powder. So you dump this in there as well. Put your food coloring in as well, because I like to do black. Bacteria or mycelium is very easy to see against a black background, especially when it's white. So. I'll grab one here, kind of show you, but you can see it's just a thin layer of like gelatin, so it's really, really soft. I'm gonna implant my mycelium on here, and eventually it's all gonna grow out. And I'll show you Petri dish that's full. So this mushroom is actually kind of dying. It's kind of been in here a while, but you can see how the mycelium is growing. Actually, it grew some mushrooms. So that little dot there is a mushroom, but it grew the mushroom and then quickly realized that the mushroom, it's not in the right proper place to grow a mushroom. So it usually just dies off. So literally all those 3 ingredients to make your agar. Very first step in any kind of mushroom production, because when I first start a species, any kind of new species, I'm going to the petri dish first, and I'm going to move it into a quart jar. So basically, what it's doing is it's growing inside that petri dish. It'll cover the whole thing. It's eating that potatoes. So anything organic, mushrooms will eat. Anything that is organic. It even eats oil. I just read this new information about a fungus that was found in Chernobyl that is actually eating radioactive material. That is amazing, and that may turn into a technology in the future for radiation spills. Hey, what if there was a radiation spill and we let out this fungus that literally eats it? It's amazing, and I read that story and I was truly captivated. I mean, that's really why I love mushrooms, because every once in a while this new species pops up that Earth needs. Like these mushrooms literally save us time after time. They are the reason we exist, and it's really amazing that it happens. So I'm looking forward to reading more information about that, about finding a fungus in Chernobyl that actually kills radioactive material. Not kills, but eats it. So that's quite fascinating. But hey, Ted, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, Professor 710, man, to tag him, and he does a lot with mushrooms, but I haven't seen him much lately. He's been sick, or like me, has backed off of podcasting. So we bought some new species every spring, I guess. I buy new species, and the reason I do is because they're a lot more aggressive form of growth. So mushrooms are very much they're like humans, so they have to eat something. So when that petri dish kind of runs out of food for them, they kind of go dormant, and they grow a lot less aggressively, and it takes kind of weeks or months to rebound from that. So when they're sitting in here in the lab all winter, I kind of go buy some new species so I get that aggressive growth right off the bat, and I don't have to wait around for that. So always remember that the mushrooms sit in an area too long, they kind of go dormant, they kind of become less aggressive of a growth. So it's really important to give them new food and keep the food fresh for them so that they continue to grow. You got paid to plant a mushroom farm 5 years ago. That's interesting. What did you plant? Really interesting. So we got 9 people in the house. Hit that like, share, reaction button, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to show you the rest of the slide because you can't really see it too. But we have over here, these are all of our species, and we keep them in basically grain bags. So these are my grain bags. We also have quart jars, but these are my sizes for a commercial business. So if you're doing just some at-home stuff, like quart jars are good. If you're going in the commercial department, you have to have bigger bags. These are basically individual seeds. This is whole oats. Whole oats. And with each one has a separate seed and actually has mycelium on it. And I'm basically going to break this up. It'll break all up, and then I'm going to plant it into one of my bags. And these are my bags that actually grow mushrooms. So this bag right here will literally grow 6 pounds of mushrooms over about 2 months' time. So we're basically going to implant maybe 1,000 of those little seeds into this bag. All the right conditions exist in this bag for the mushroom to grow, for the mushroom to prosper. So we're not quite the mushrooms yet. That's mycelium. This is going to be the mushroom. So it's 2 different steps, and people seem to forget that it's the organism actually is this. The mycelium is actually the organism, not the mushroom. The mushroom is literally its way of spreading its wings. So when it forms the mushroom, it is trying to move. It's trying to let its spores out and then move around the forest and grow just like everything else. It's always important to remember that the main part of the organism lives underground. A lot of people seem to forget that when they see a mushroom. They're like, that's the organism, but it's only the way it spreads its seed. So the main organism is underground, unseen, and it doesn't need to grow mushrooms. And we all know that when we hunt for morels. They don't grow in the same place every year, and they don't have to. The mushroom mycelium is going to survive whether or not the mushroom grows or not. After I planted the mushroom farm, I had no idea about anything, and then turned around. That's interesting. It's hard to grow outdoors. I don't know anybody who tries to grow mushrooms outdoors. I blocked my camera. It's a whole nother level. I like the challenge of growing indoors because it's challenging to grow mushrooms indoors. And I didn't even know it was possible till 4 years ago. So we got a couple syringes I bought of some new mushrooms. This one's called Coral Tooth. Is actually, I believe, a kind of an ancestor of lion's mane. So it looks very similar to lion's mane, but it has like it looks more like coral reef. Yeah, that's what it basically looks like. So you have your lion's mane, which kind of grows these hairs, and then you have the coral tooth, which looks more like a coral tooth. It has more like sharp ends and stuff. Pretty cool stuff. I'm interested in growing it this year and selling it at the market. So I always like to introduce a new species every year because it gets that wow factor when you go to the market. Everybody's like, "What's that?" And they always come over and ask questions. And we got another new species called Nabrostensis, and I'm trying to get into growing smaller mushrooms. All the mushrooms I grow are fairly large. This is the smaller species of mushrooms. It's the favorite for chefs, especially in Japan. We have that species. We also have a strain called Trans Envy. This is a psychedelic strain. So now legally I can own this, and you see right on there it says educational use only, actually microscope only. The other one says educational. So I can legally own these. It's not a psychedelic yet until I actually produce the mushroom that has the psychedelic. So I do like messing around these. These are really challenging to grow, and I can put this into mycelium form, and it's still not psychedelic. So we're gonna do that today. We got the Trans Envy, and I'm assuming it's penis envy crossed with something else. I'm not really sure. I've never heard of that strain. I got the strain from the guy I bought this flow hood from. So when I bought this flow hood on Facebook Marketplace, the guy was like, "Hey, I got all these psychedelic strains if you want them," and he just gave them to me. So the other one is called Mayanel ACWX Shakti. And I'm guessing this is a homegrown strain. I'm guessing he might have been the only one who had this because I've never heard of it. And it sounds like something somebody produced at home and then like made it on their own. And then, that's really what it sounds like. Never heard of that. I looked everywhere on the internet. There wasn't a speck of word about that name. So I'm not really familiar with that strain. We also have a couple other strains of Burma, Penis Envy, Golden Teacher. The other ones I have. I haven't grown psychedelic mushrooms for like 2 years, so I still like putting them in a petri dish and examining them. It's just fun to do. So I was looking at some albino lizard. That's good. Today Monday. What got me into mushrooms? Psychedelics. And I'm very blunt with people, especially when they come to the farmer's market. People are like, how'd you get into mushrooms? And I'm like, I did magic mushrooms one time. My mind was so blown that I did more research. I got into this. And my mind's still blown. My mind's still blown by mushrooms. Everybody should. They really are a fascinating part of our planet. And they continue to be a fascinating part because they continue to evolve very quickly. And at one point, I really believe that they will save this planet. I think that they have characteristics to save this planet. Like I said earlier, they found this fungi species that eats radioactive material. They have, there is a species that eats oil. And they did an experiment back, I think it was the 70s or 80s, where they basically had this sludgy oil in the area, and they did an experiment. They put the mycelium in there. The mycelium not only devoured the oil, but it turned the whole environment back into its normal state, like in just a year. And that's the power of mycelium. We can destroy our planet, but the mycelium is constantly repairing what we destroy. It truly is amazing. And I know that they are looking into technologies based off of fungus. We'll see what the future holds, but very fascinating stuff. But don't forget to hit that giveaway, Lion's Mane, hashtag Lion's Mane. We're giving a whole month supply away. Little bottle right here, I'll ship to you. You take 2 a day. And I'll even include, I have a pamphlet that kind of shows everything you need to know about combined brain. Brain food, all natural, and the pharmaceutical companies will never tell you that. Neither will a doctor. The doctor will tell you bullshit, not to take it, which I've had many people's doctors tell them. Do not listen to your doctor when it comes to herbal remedies. They will bullshit you out the door. That is the truth. They will bullshit you. They not tell the truth when it comes to herbal medicine and mushrooms. I've already had that experience with a lot of my customers who tell me that. They're like, they tell their doctor, and their doctor's like, well, there's no research, there's nothing like that shows that it's effective. Yet the person's like, but it worked for me. Obviously it works. And the doctor will still deny it. But we all know how Western medicine is. It really aggravates me when some people's doctors tell them after they buy my supplements, tell them it helps them, and the doctor just denies what they say. We're gonna do a little wipe down here. We got our alcohol out. We're gonna start putting this. So if you notice, this was actually a Q-tip. So this is the first time I'm actually gonna use a Q-tip in a Petri dish. So we got lots of hand sanitizer. We got 70% alcohol in here, and we got hand sanitizer. Again, we're gonna be clean when we open up this Petri dish. So hands spotless. Again, when this Petri dish comes open too, I might stop talking. My breath, obviously our breath has a lot of bacteria in it, so I don't want to breathe on it. See on this camera here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 swipes. You can see, you can barely see it, but that black part of the tip is actually the mushroom mycelium. But it's, I can't think of the word. It's not the mycelium, it's the spores. Yeah, spores. So somebody basically took the spores, wiped it on. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little mark 3 times. We're going to do a zigzag, then another zigzag that's probably closer together, and a third zigzag that's a little wider apart. Those zigzags are going to spread that clump, that spores out, and eventually allow it to grow. So I've tried this before and I had not much luck, but I did a bunch of research on it about how to successfully move the Q-tip to the Petri dish. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to open up the species, and what we're going to do also, we have a rag. And we're going to soak it with a certain amount of alcohol. And we're going to wipe off this thing. So there's been many people that have touched this. I guarantee you there's germs on here. So we're going to make sure that as clean as we can get it before we open it. Same with our hands. Let's get that open. So there's also a risk here that this could get contaminated, and that's fine. What we'll do is a transfer later if it does. And we'll get the bad part out of it and the good part in. So this thing's really sealed. All right, we're going to pull that out, and we're going to do our zigzags 3 times. And then we're going to put it back in, save it for later. That should have worked. And now we have our tape. Now we have to tape this shut. So we have some paraffin tape. This is actually laboratory tape that they use in all labs. So we're going to cut 3 strips off. Let me get my scissors. And this is called laboratory. It's called parafilm, as the general term is called. It has a paper back, and then it kind of stretches. And we're going to seal that plate onto the top to the bottom. Let's go. We got the camera over here. We're going to put that on there, stretch it, do it again, stretch it, do it again, stretch it. And then we kind of bring back that seal, and now we're all sealed up. Nothing's getting in there. So now we have that Petri dish ready to sit on our shelves. And we're going to write what we put in it as well. It's good to know what you have. And again, this is Trans Envy. And it is the 17th of the 25th year. So make sure we put that, because sometimes it's been here for years. So but now our Trans Envy transferred from our Q-tip now. Actually, that wasn't Trans Envy. I wrote the wrong one. That was. We got alcohol here. We can erase it. Let's erase it with our alcohol. It's actually that one name I called Maya Nell. Really pronounce it because I have no idea if that's an H or an N. All right, now we got the right one written. Hey, what's going on, Tyler? How you doing? Again, we're giving away some lines, man, guys. Hit that hashtag, and we'll give one away when we're done here. I'm only going to be probably live till 2:30 or so. All right, we got that species. We're going to go with our Trans Envy now. We're going to do the same thing over again. And I'll just keep that Petri dish on top. The reason I did not use the top one is because it has a little moisture in there. So when I made these, you'll set a hot one on top of another hot one, and only the top one's left with moisture. It's not a bad thing. It just, I can't see the mycelium clearly, and it may contaminate. So all our other Petri dishes are good to go here. Get another one out here. Show hands are clean again. And we'll open this bad boy up. This is the strain I'm really curious about because I'm very, Penis Envy is one of the most popular strains, and this one is a cross, I'm believing. Man, that is really stuck. I'm just going to cut it open. So we're going to do the same thing, 3 crisscrosses. And this one doesn't have as much on it, so we'll just have to do what we'll do. Alrighty. We'll put a little piece of tape on that to seal it. Yeah, for these seal this. It won't get contaminated because bacteria can't really grow on a Q-tip. But they're great for transferring. Now they're all sealed up. Now we're going to move to our syringes. So actually, let me seal that one up, and we'll move to our syringes. Again, we're going to do 3 pieces of parafilm. This stuff is such a pain in the ass to work with. That's why when I first started, I sold Petri dishes as part of my business, and it was not fun because these are not fun to make or put the parafilm around. Because I have gloves on, so it's really hard to get. There we go. So we'll seal that one up too. Okay. And that is our Trans Envy again. So again, we're gonna stretch it. Then to come back around, and it's all sealed up. Put that to the side. Now we're gonna move to our syringes. So I don't think we have any empty quart jars. So we're gonna put about this into 3 syringes. You can see in here we actually have the mycelium. It's actually floating in there. And this is just liquid. Most of the time, 5% honey, and then the rest is water. So that's all it really needs inside this liquid, is about 5% honey. Some people use sugar. Honey is better. I think people use sugar, but I use honey when I make it. It's very rare. All right. So again, we're going to clean the outside of the bag in. This has been exposed on shipping here, so we'll make sure before we open it up, we're cleaning the ingredients. We're going to have to put the syringe needle on there. Every one of these, when you buy them, come with a needle for your insertion into a quart jar. So you can see here we have one of our quart jars, and right here is where the needle goes in. So it'll seal. It'll self-seal after you stick the needle in there. I don't have any empty jars, so we're just going to use the Petri dish. So we're gonna give it a good shake. We actually don't need to use the needle, I should say, because I'm not putting it into a jar. So we're gonna put 3 of these out here. Get this all ready. And these are stuck together. We get it all ready for the species, and we're just gonna take that out and kind of put a couple drops on it. All you need is a couple drops. So here you can see all those things floating here is liquid mycelium, is what we call it. That is a living organism, very much alive. So this guy, they always come with a black stopper. You're just gonna take that off, and then we're gonna drops. I'll take the tops off. That's what it likes to do at first. It'll squirt all out. I hate when it does that. But these syringes kind of get stuck, and you got to push a little harder. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff there. Got lots of mycelium with that one. Again, this is our new species, coral tooth that we were growing. Usually when I start a new species, I like to do it for Petri dish. It's the best way to do it. Then we're going to wrap those up. Our parafilm. 3 coats. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I know there's a couple snowstorms. Man, it's cold as hell here. And then if you're south on the other side of the front, you're in probably the warm weather. So it's just, everybody's in all kinds of different weather today. So we're just going to stretch that again, seal that up. These are just plastic plates too, for those who don't know. You can buy them on Amazon. They're relatively cheap. I think they end up being like 50 cents a plate. And then at the end of that, I usually store them for years. Like I have species of mushrooms, because the mushroom never dies. Man, this is such a pain in the ass. Tape's like 3 years old too. That's the bad thing when you buy that roll of tape. It lasts you like 10 years. They give you so much. We got 2 sealed. Going for that 3rd. But if you're in the room, please don't forget to hit that like reaction button. I thank you guys for joining me on this really crappy day in Illinois. But I'm thinking I might go live again this week, and we're going to do a live how to make Fico in the kitchen. I'm going on vacation on Friday morning. I'm going to Pittsburgh and New York City and Niagara Falls and back to Chicago for like 8 days. So I'm not, it's like not in my head. I'm like, it's Monday right now. I'm going on vacation in 4 days, but I am not in vacation mode. It's just really weird. I mean, I'm going to be in vacation mode by the end of the week. So I have no choice. But I'm meeting up with Ted Hanser, Chuck Rock, and Sir Steve-O. Very excited about that. I've already met Sir Steve-O once, but first time meeting Ted. I'm going to stop by his house on the way to Pittsburgh, and then I'll meet Chuck Rock in between New York City and Niagara Falls. Awesome to meet more people in the community. Hey, what's going on, Rhonda? How you doing? Feel tropical paradise calling. Well, I remember I went on a 16-day vacation, December 27th through January. I think I got home on the 13th. It seems like so long ago, but I got homesick at day 8, about day 10. I think that's about my point where I started to get really homesick. But man, I had a good time. I got to see so much of the country. Checked off 8 things on my bucket list. I'm checking off 4 more, like 5 more on this trip. 5 bucket list items we checked off on this list. Excited about that. Make sure we write that name on there. We're going coral tooth. Spell it right, coral tooth. But I have some friends who used to live in Quincy. They're actually older than me. They're my friend who passed away 10 years ago's parents. And I'm staying with them. They moved to Pittsburgh about 5 years ago. And I'm staying there for 3 nights. We're gonna go to a hockey game, and they're fun people. Like, I have no doubt that we're gonna just go out and have a good time in Pittsburgh and show me the town, and it's gonna be a good time. But I miss them too. I haven't even seen them for like 2 years, and I was like, well, I got 3 months off. I can come see you then. All right, so we got that species. We're also got another species I told you called Nebrodensis. I actually have pictures of the mushrooms on here, but they're like such tiny pictures. All right, so we're gonna do that 3 more Petri dishes. I have no idea why they're all getting stuck together today, but they sure the fuck are. I've never had that happen. I don't know why they're all stuck. Spilled some agar. Yeah, I'm gonna clean that bag off. Now, I didn't mention too, the reason I use 70% alcohol is because it's 99% alcohol actually kills less germs than 70%. And you know why? It's because it evaporates nearly instantly the minute you spray 99% alcohol. 70% alcohol will sit on the surface about 5 minutes longer and killing way more germs. So always remember that. It's a trick question too. If you ever want to trick somebody, you're like, which kills more germs? 90%, 99% alcohol, or 70%? It's 70%. And then you can explain to them why. Once you explain that, it makes sense. I mean, alcohol is the most evaporated. I can spray 99% on anything. It's gone instantly. So we got a lot of nice cloudiness in here. This one, the mycelium on this one's a lot more smaller. So not only are mushrooms different, but the mycelium is. And every different mycelium species also has its own smell. Something I'm getting more used to. Like golden oyster smells like fruit. Blue oyster kind of smells like the woods. There's another couple species that smell like dirt. So it's really interesting how they all smell different. I can't smell this one though. It's not enough of it. So we're gonna take these lids off. Put a couple drops in. Again, the first squirt's always a lot. I hate these. It's gonna squirt a whole bunch in the first. There you go. So what's going to happen is there's like a little dot in the middle. I put some liquid on, and it's going to start to grow there, and it will work its way out. That mycelium will eat that. It'll be that petri dish will probably be fully filled in about 12 days. You might get 7 to 12 days. It grows really fast, especially the blue oyster mushrooms. Those things grow so fast. So I can grow a blue oyster from lab to kitchen table in 20 days. Whole 3 pounds of mushrooms. That's how fast they grow. It's insane. I'll even show you that. I have a video here that shows it. I'll play that video real quick. This is 4 days of footage, or 5 days put into 15 seconds. So it's pretty cool watching. You can see it doesn't give a shit about my tag. It even knocks the tag off. So that is my 4-pound bag. That was about a 2-pound flush. It was a really big flush. And you can kind of see I went past the flush. Like I should have picked it about a day earlier. So when the mushrooms start to fold out like that, and then they kind of overfold, that's when you've gone too far. But right there, they probably just dropped their spores right before they folded. So pretty cool, isn't it? I think I need to do that more often, but I know a GoPro to use it. Seal these up. But I plan on doing that this year. I'm going to get more GoPro. I'm going to set up in there and get more flow footage, especially with that line, man. And it's awesome to watch them grow because they move. Just like if you put a video camera with marijuana, the marijuana kind of waves back and forth. The mushroom does the same thing. So when it grows, it's like vibrating. It goes straight up. It's pretty cool. If you watch it in slow motion. If you watch days over a second. Hey, what's going on, Becca? How you doing? First live in a long time. Actually, my first live since November 28th. I don't even remember the day. If you guys remember, we did a fundraiser to raise money for families in need, and that's the one that I got in trouble with on Facebook. I got restricted for 30 days. I also can't change the name of my page for a year. Like that's the hardest I've ever been hit. Man, you're trying to do something good for your community, and Facebook's like, fuck you. That's basically what happened. So I had a 30-day ban that started in January, and it just ended February 8th. It still took me 10 days to go live. So again, we're putting that parafilm on our Petri dishes. Stuff's in the ass to work with. We got gloves on. Usually it kind of rips. Surprisingly, I haven't ripped it here. It's all sealed up. We're gonna write our names on there. This is again, I don't even know how to spell it. NEBRODENSIS. We're just gonna put it short for the NEB. I don't know what it is, man. I'm gonna own these. So I'm only gonna need one Petri dish. I like to make multiple. But now I have it in my storage. I have it there. I have a bunch of Petri dishes. And I don't know if we need any more of those Petri dishes, but I gotta use them. Can't do anything else with them. I've never actually tried any of those. All of those systems I built myself, but there are a lot of well-respected companies out there that make those. I've just never bought them. I used to make my own. I bought the tubs. I drilled all of them, but I also had a lot of trouble growing them. I quit growing them 2 years ago because, growing gourmet mushrooms is easier than growing psychedelics. It's actually a lot easier. Psychedelics are just way more sensitive. They don't have as strong as immune system as gourmet mushrooms. Like the blue oyster mushroom, literally it has the strongest immune system out of any mushroom. And when you go to psychedelics, you're looking at like 20 to 30 times less of immune system. Like it's that much less. A blue oyster can basically kill off anything, and I've watched it. It's really interesting how they attack. Attack other things. They're just like humans. When we fight, we encircle our enemy and then we kill it. And that's kind of the same way they do it. They don't start the battle until they actually surround the thing and then they attack it. It's really interesting to watch. And the reason they do that is because they don't have an immune system until they're fully grown. So, like this Petri dish, it's not going to have an immune system until it's fully evolved all its food. At that point, it'll turn into immune system defense because it's not eating anything anymore, and it's a lot stronger. So, and those magic mushrooms are difficult to grow. I know people that think they're easy, but they never grown gourmet mushrooms to be like, oh, growing gourmet mushrooms is actually way easier than growing those magic. Those automated tubs, those will probably work awesome. I think you could probably buy one from any company. Just make sure you look at the reviews. It's usually how I buy stuff. Make sure other people like it. And, I know Amazon has a lot. Don't buy it from like some fool on Facebook you barely know in some group. Like that's you gonna get ripped off then. And unfortunately, that's happening a lot in the magic mushroom sales. I hear so many times people tell me, "Well, I bought these mushrooms. They didn't do anything for me." And I'm like, "That's because you got some douchebag that was selling mushrooms that didn't do anything." I've grown mushrooms that had no psychoactive effect. It happens. I don't know why. I just didn't grow that species again, and I threw the mushrooms away. But there are people out there who may grow those, and they're like, "Well, I'm going to sell them. Nobody's going to know they're not going to get you high." And people will sell them, and it's pisses me off because I only sold the best. Like if it was junk, I didn't want to sell it. I want somebody coming back and be like, man, your mushrooms suck. I want them to come back and be like, man, these are some of the best, that help me mentally, the clarity. So always be careful who you buy from. It's a wild, wild west out there, especially in these Facebook groups. But I need to put another species in there. I don't know why. But these are all our species right here. I keep them all in here. You can see how many I have inside here. So this is my little thing. I keep my arms in here. It keeps them clean. So we have some species that I've never grown before. Then we have our regular gourmet mushrooms, full features, Burmas. He also gave me another species of mushroom. Actually, I'll try this one. This one's actually called El Choco. I think I've heard of it. El Choco, we'll do that one. Then we have the other one too that he gave me. He gave me so many. This is called Gandalf. Man, how can you not like the name Gandalf? I forgot he gave me this one too. This one just has the letters LL and it's a foil. I can't see it. So I'm assuming the foil, here it is probably has spores in it. Like I'm gonna have to dump them out. And then the rest of them are my old species. Like I buy species that you can't really grow. I got chicken of the woods, nearly impossible to grow indoors, but I bought it anyway. A hen of the woods, chicken of the woods. And I know people love chicken of the woods. This is really hard to grow indoors. We got black poplar, really pretty mushroom. Never grown it. We got our red reishi, really hard to grow indoors as well. So you can see I have a lot of species in here that are really hard to grow. And then the rest of our species are petri dishes. But I'm going to try one of these this year. I'm going to try to grow the red reishi. We're going to give that a try. I'm going to take that out. Because I know other growers have grown it. So then we have something, this is a really intriguing thing that I experimented with in the past. This is shiitake. We call it mushroom piss. A little bit so I can try to explain more. So this is actually a bag of shiitake mushrooms. You can see here there's a liquid at the bottom. In World War II, that's basically when antibiotics was created. That's basically what this is. I don't know what species antibiotics were made from, but this is metabolites and other things that the mushroom makes in order to fight off other things. I put it into a syringe because I've experimented with it. I've actually put it on bugs. I think it's a neurotoxin because I've actually had bugs act like they were paralyzed when I put it on them. We kind of understand mushrooms and we kind of don't. We're like, don't really understand what's in this liquid. And honestly, I think there may be a new product. Like maybe it makes it to repel some kind of bug, and maybe I can make a new product with that. But the funny thing is, when I put it on a pill bug, which a pill bug is actually one of the oldest bugs on Earth, just like mushrooms. I mean, pill bugs and mushrooms have been around each other for millions of years, so they're probably well familiar with each other. And when I put it on the pill bug acted dead for 15 minutes. It didn't move at all. And it started moving 15 minutes later, so it was really weird. It had no other effect on the other bug but the pill bug, so I found that it was intriguing and weird. So. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? Jeremy Phelps, what's going on? So I'm looking forward to experimenting with that more, and we're going to get some of these other species here. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Friend's coming by. I was making sure she wasn't here. I left the door open. How you doing, Jeremy? I don't see you often that much. I mean, I don't blame you. I don't know what people's lives are going anymore. I kind of only going to one group's live. So hopefully you're doing well, Jeremy. I know the last time I talked to your health issues, I hope that's improved well. Well, let's do some red reishi. This is actually really old. I've had this for like 3 years now. So it's a full syringe of red reishi. It's actually all stuck at the top. Shake. And then we'll probably just do 2 petri dishes. Also, this is a great way to experiment with kids. These are awesome to make and just set out in the room. And you can see what other bacteria is present, which I'm probably going to take one of these and open it up. I'll just do it now. I'll leave it out in the room. And then we'll see what other bacteria is in the room, and I can become familiar with what I need to kill. So that's a great thing to do, because then you can be like, well, this virus is in my house, and you can actually specifically go online, find the virus, see what it causes. And you may actually find the virus that's making you sick that's in your house. Just don't know it. And that's why producing mushrooms is so hard, because we're literally fighting something you can't see. Fighting something invisible every single day. And that's the hardest part for people to grow mushrooms. Because when you grow marijuana, you're like, you don't fight something that you can't see, so it's a lot easier. We're going to put 2 little spots in here and some of that reishi. I'm actually surprised the syringe works. It's so old. All right. Well, that's got to be exciting. This is a difficult mushroom to grow, and I'm going to try to grow it this year. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I kind of put mushrooms on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy they grow. It's like a blue oyster's like a 1. I'll put blue oyster 1. Really easy to grow. You got your reishi, probably chicken to the hen, more like a 6 to a 7. So it's difficult, but it's not impossible. And then you have your morale mushrooms, which are at like an 11 out of 10. That's literally what they are. They're over impossible because nobody's ever grown them. There's a few companies, but they aren't the same. They don't have that wild taste. So I get told all the time I should try to find them, conquer the morels, but I'm not. I have no plans to try to grow morale mushrooms. It's like people don't realize how hard it is. Like I'm not going to try it because there's been hundreds of thousands of people who have tried it before me. So what makes me be successful? I've had people message me and tell me they're trying to grow morels and they want me to help them. I'm like, help you? It's impossible. But the best method to grow morels is actually a Chinese method where you actually grow these mounds and then you put plastic over it outdoors and then you inoculate the ground and eventually it'll grow in like a year or 2. As far as I know, that Chinese method is the best way to grow mushrooms, but it's not a commercial way to grow mushrooms. It's just a great way to grow a few. You're not going to make a commercial sale out of it. But it's crazy. I almost have to argue with people. I think I can grow around mushrooms. I'm like, no, I can't. And I've only seen one company out there that grows with their greenhouse that costs at least $250,000. They have a state-of-the-art greenhouse they grow them in. But pretty cool. To each their own. I'm not going to make money selling morels. I make my money selling oyster species and shiitakes. The fact that if you even tried to grow morels, you probably wouldn't be profitable because it would take 2 to 3 years to grow them, and by that time, so So this one is reishi. That's right. And yes, I do sell reishi on my website in powder form, but I do not grow those mushrooms. I do not grow any of my powder forms, just for the fact that I would have to grow so many to even be able to sell. I keep writing the 24th, 25th year. Still think it's 2024. Oh, got another species down. Let's do the El Choco. Wish I could see my camera. All right. But don't forget that hashtag. Give me that Lions Man. I'll give it a here in the way of the show, and you don't have to be present. Just to let people know. Yeah, I've been laying low. Lost about 5 friends. I'm sorry to hear that. So you lost like actual friends in real life? Is it Jeremy? You're saying they've actually passed away? So I'm sorry to hear that. Sadly, that's part of all of our aging process. And one thing I don't look forward to is getting older and watching everybody around me pass away, or me pass away. Who knows? That's what they say about friends. One of us is going to watch everybody get buried. One of them is going to watch none of them. And I always think of that quote when it's said that way. All your friends, one of them's going to watch all of you buried, and one of them's going to watch none. And, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeremy. That's why we have magic mushrooms too. I always say our brain ages. We get into this place as we age that's not a good place. Sometimes we get stuck there. And magic mushrooms shake that brain up, allow you to feel that happiness that you felt as a child. I really, it's like a cheat code. I always refer to when I'm in that place, my headspace where most people are when they age. I hate it. I take my magic mushrooms and I get back into that positivity, that space that I had at a younger age. And I feel like I'm cheating life. That's why I find it so amazing and intriguing. Is the world needs it. The world needs magic mushrooms. I mean, I always said, imagine if every single person took a dose of magic mushrooms and we all woke up tomorrow. Like, how different would the world be? It would be so different. We can only dream, right? Maybe someday there'll be some hero out there who puts it all in our drinking water spout. All 7 billion people on Earth do it at once. That's about the only way you could, is to put it in drinking water. I don't know where the Q-tip is though. It's in there. Just cleaning off my scissors with alcohol too. Make sure you use. Oh, good thing I didn't cut the wrong end, because I cut the wood tip off. Oh, there's actually 2 syringes in here, or 2 Q-tips. We're gonna take one out. We're gonna do 3 wipes. Again, I told you earlier, it's a kind of we're gonna move these spores onto the petri dish. So we're kind of doing a little motion here. You'll see. I'll show you here. But that's all I need to do. That right there transferred the spores over to the petri dish. So do the same thing again. Cool. 3 little marks. And we're going to do them kind of different. So we're just trying to transfer those spores onto the petri dish so that allow them to grow. We're gonna seal that up so we can use it later. Albino Lizard Kings, that's awesome. I had a strain when I first started doing mushrooms. It was the Burma strain, and I actually, the funny thing is, I met this girl we were dating, and one day I was just hanging out with her, and she's like, yeah, I grow magic mushrooms, and I was like, oh, I grow marijuana, and so we kind of shared how we grew them, and she shared some of her mushrooms, and she actually had a strain that she got from an individual who was growing it underground for 12 years, and this guy knew what the fuck he was doing. Like this strain is one of the strongest, most potent, most fastest growing strains I've ever seen. I have friends who are scared of it because it's so strong. So I think this guy was basically nurturing it for 12 years, making it stronger, selecting the best mushrooms, which you could do. And over that long of a period of time, you're going to get a truly superior mushroom. I still have the species. I don't grow it because it is so strong. Like this, if you have insecurities, if you have trauma, if you have anything dark in you, it's going to put it in front of you. It doesn't care. And that's the reason I like the mushroom, but it's also the reason I hate it. It's a really mushroom, one of the most powerful mushrooms that can help you heal that I've ever seen. It's scary. It's that powerful. And I know that because I gave it to friends and they're like, I'm never taking that again. I wasn't prepared for that. Man, saved my life. I then in 2021, I then did it for the next 5 months. Every Saturday night, I did a 5 gram dose of these by myself. And you guys know how I talk about that in other podcasts. How I was chasing my own trauma. And I found it. Did a lot more. So I don't really do mushrooms that much anymore because they gave me everything I ever wanted. Now the only reason I do them now is for that brain reset. But man, you go back to 2020, I did not know myself. Did not know myself at all. It's a whole different game when you take magic mushrooms and you begin to know who you are. That is the most amazing part. That's why I almost want to give them to people out of high school. Imagine giving them, and I know that age is young, but imagining taking a substance straight out of high school that exposes who you are, that exposes what you want to do in your life, that exposes the truth, of who you are. How awesome would that be when you graduate from high school to have that substance that will allow you to explore, what you want to do with the rest of your life? Because it's in there. It's in our subconscious. It really is. So who we are, what we are, who we want to be. Many times buried though. Mushrooms are gonna bury that shit. But we have another species here we're gonna put in here. This is called the Gandalf. That's probably one of my most favorite names I've ever heard of anything. Gandalf. So we're gonna clean our hands again. Clean that. There's not a lot of spores on this Q-tip. It is really light, so we're gonna have to get some good swipes. I'm gonna do Jeremy. I'm going. It's the winter months. We're in the darkest, one of the most mentally challenging months of the year. This is the best I've ever done in 41 years of my life. This is the best I've ever felt in winter. So it's still a little depression, anxiety. We all have that shit in our lives. But man, life is good. I have nothing to complain about. All right, let's put this game on. I had a little health issues. That's about all I complain about, really. I had some back issues. I just got a shoulder injury, like 10 days, where I couldn't do much at all. I don't think there's enough for a third petri dish, so we're just gonna do 2. What's going on, Alec? How you doing? Brian Williams, how you doing? We're all doing well. Thanks, guys, for joining. We got 14 people in the house. Don't forget to hit that Lion's Mane hashtag. Give it that away here shortly, and hit that like, share, reaction button. A lot of people do this afterwards. And the reason I do this again, mushroom, I'm trying to educate people about the power of mushrooms. So please help me accomplish that goal. It's not just although I do like having podcasts where we say it's just not one of those. I'm trying to educate. So we got 2 Petri dishes with that strain in it now. Now we're going to take that up again. We got our lab tape. And I'm going to be back to podcasting on Sundays again. That's going to be my mental health, 9 a.m. And we're going to get back to talking about that story, Jeremy. I don't share it enough. I kind of shut down the last 6 months and kept to myself, really. I talk about all that shit I went through. But it's worth sharing. I mean, it's the reason I came to podcasting. I knew the minute I started doing mushrooms that specific way that I was doing them, that I had to share that knowledge. It was only right. And a lot of people don't understand that I do mushrooms very differently than other people. I found this method and I stuck with it. I got help from a friend who knows so much about child psychology and childhood trauma. And I got lucky. I really did. It's like the universe was like, oh, you're going to do mushrooms? Well, I'm going to introduce you to this person. I'm going to introduce you to this person. And I'm going to introduce you to this person. It set it up. It fell into place perfectly. And I get a little emotional about it because I know how important that was in my life, As with anybody. Anybody who goes through psychedelic therapy sessions know how emotional that. What strain did I just put in here? Oh, it was Gamble. I'm trying to remember what strain I had. My brain's very much attached to those experiences I had. That's why they're so emotional. I will never ever forget them. I'll be on my deathbed someday thinking about that beautiful experience I had 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, we'll be having our podcast on Sundays. I didn't do it this past because I've been injured in my shoulder. I've been able to sit. It's probably going to be 2 weeks. I think I'll be on vacation this Sunday. And I picked Sunday because even my other job, my Sundays are always open. It's my day. It's always off. So I'm looking forward to doing that back to weekly. We're going to have guests. I have people in mind. It's more or less going to be it's a mental health approach to the whole body, gut, brain, like anything that has to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be a lot more funner than we had our mental health Mondays, which was kind of, there were times it was depressing. So it'll be a lot more positive aspect. But I'm going to go see my friends here first. I've been live for an hour and 15 minutes anyway. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll get this lion's mane away. Let me bring that back up. What's going on, Daniel? How you doing? The farmer's market, when I do go, yeah, I do really well. Last year I didn't go for 3 months because especially in the middle of our roofing season, I may work 70 to 80 hours a week. It just got really hard to do. This year I have a different approach and a lot more motivated. So yeah, the opportunity is there. Like if I want it, it's there. Like this is easily a job that I can hire somebody to turn into a full-time position someday, which is what I want to do. I want to keep my roofing job because it's really good money. Like I will never ever find a job where I make that kind of money. So I enjoy it. Like when I do my roofing job, it doesn't feel like I'm working at all. But whoever wants to get in that lion's mane, we're giving away 1 month's supply again. And please don't forget to hit that like, share, reaction button. We have 14 people in the house. But yeah, remember, Jeremy, I don't do the work. I'm just a supervisor. So I usually have 2 crews under me, and we usually do 2 roofs a day. So I'm usually driving between both jobs, making sure they're doing things correctly. I got to take pictures, communicate with the customer, and schedule and stuff. There's a lot of aspects of my job other than just supervising. But the fact that I don't have to do the work is the part that I like. No, he does. There are things that I do because of my experience in construction. Well, you don't have to tag everybody in. I'm not ready to end it here, but thank you anyway. Yeah, we're gonna be back to the roofing season on March. So I get off from December 21st till about March 3rd, about every year, depending on the weather. March looks like a good roofing month, but we're gonna get a lot of rain too, so we'll probably only end up working about 60-70% of those days. March. And then we got April, May. Farmers market comes back in May, so it's going to be here before you even know it. And my new restaurant, as you said, it's not a restaurant, it's a farmer stand. So it's a local business, and she buys other products from other local vendors and then sells them at her farm. And she is very successful. Like she's making a lot of good money, so much so that she built indoor place to sell it all year round. So before she was only able to sell, 7 months out of the year. So now she has an indoor facility, and I haven't grown enough mushrooms to have that indoor facility, but this year is going to be that time when I have that. So she only buys blue oysters, but she moves so many of them a month. Like she literally can move 60 to 100 pounds of mushroom for me. And I need to take advantage of that opportunity, but I never grew enough mushrooms to do that because it takes, working the full-time job. I've been building up the system to do that, and that's why I bought all this equipment to make it easier in my life. So. I need one more reaction to get up to 30. You guys can do it. I think we got a couple more people coming in that line. How many people we got? Got 21 entries. There's more people coming in. I was trying to end the live. There's more people coming in. Funny. It always happens how Facebook works. Like, oh, have to call today on live. We're going to send people in. Keep it going. There you go. There's that 30th reaction. Thank you guys very much. Again, check out greatrivermushrooms.com. I have a lot of great products, cheapest prices on the market. I do unfortunately believe that there is going to be a price increase coming. I've been looking at all my products I buy, and as you guys know, with everything going on in the world, why that is happening. Hoping it's not, but I buy like little. It takes hundreds of little $4 to $5 things you buy to run a mushroom business. And a lot of that stuff does come from China, unfortunately. And I've already seen the prices go up on Amazon for a few items I buy. Still holding back. I still have the most affordable prices on the market, but you may see that. Go on back. I'm hoping it falls down too, but in mushroom production, a lot of the stuff it takes to grow mushrooms comes from other countries because like Japan and China, they grow mushrooms at every single corner. Like they sell mushrooms at gas stations and every single block. And I was told that by a Japanese guy. He's like, if you go to Japan or China, mushrooms all over. And you go to the US, you have to drive hours. Alrighty, I think we got that. About one more people coming in. Let's hit that giveaway then. All right, we got 22 entries. I'm going to hit it. Good luck, everybody. The Red Ridgeway. You don't have to be in the house, but it would be nice if you were. I don't ever require you to be. Here, awesome, Loretta. You're making so much easier on me. Send me your address. You're gonna get a really long class. Send me your address and I'll ship. I hope that shipped off to you as soon as I can. But thank you guys for joining me. This is a short hour and 20-minute live, but we had 32 reactions, 16 people in here. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys learned something a little bit, and I hope you guys know the power of mushrooms. So I will probably be going live again this week. I'm hoping to do my live in the lab with live in the kitchen making my fico. And I'm going to show you how to do it in a little kitchen. I know Danielle Cooper, she does it at a commercial level, which I won't be showing that. I'm going to be showing it more at your basic home level. How do you make a lot of fico? So again, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a great day. And I'm going to end it with my intro. And as always, guys, much love. I'll see you guys later. Peace, guys.